Hello. Hey, man. Welcome back to the Super Divorce channel. Welcome to Casually Gaming for the 22nd time. And tonight, while casually gaming, we're going to casually game this game. It is a game called RetroMania Wrestling. I decided to do this because I just finished watching AEW Revolution, and I thought it'd be a good time to stream a professional wrestling game, and one that I've been meaning to pick up for a bit. I mean, it just came out recently, but it's one that I've had on my mind for a while. I knew about this one before it was released, and I was like, you know what? It's a good time to go ahead and jump in. Okay, I'm going to try to keep an eye over here on the chat tonight, because last night it was a pure debacle as I was playing Infernal. Pretty much when I wrapped up streaming, I was like done playing the game. I looked over. I'd been checking over on the screen, second monitor here, to see if any chats are coming through, and didn't see anything the whole stream. Right before I get to leave, I saw a bunch of chats appear all at once, and I don't know why that happened. Never seen that before. But I take responsibility. I should have been paying closer attention. I should have clicked over at some other point besides right at the very end, because I don't know. It's like I clicked over and then everything showed up all at once. Again, never seen that. I don't know what was going on there. But I'll do better tonight. I'll do what I can. All right. So this is RetroMania Wrestling, and we're just going to casually go ahead and play a little bit of this game here. Let me see if I can just let me see something here. Let me check out the options. Full screen is disabled. Let me enable that. Doesn't look like that's changed things up very much. Okay. I mean, on the stream. I wanted to make sure it didn't screw things up on the stream. Draws a colored ring underneath wrestlers. I don't think we need that. Alright, let me see here. Up, down, left, right, yeah. Taunt is A. Tag is... Hold on, that's not... Wait a second. Hold on, that's keyboard shit. I'm using a controller. I guess I'll just try to figure it out on the fly. Alright. This is casual, guys. I'm just going to jump in and do a retro rumble. We're just going to see how that goes for us. Not looking to do like a full playthrough of the story or anything. I just want to try this out. I just want to jump in. What are we going to do here? We'll just do a singles match. And we got Hawk, Animal, Johnny Retro, of course, John Morrison. Today, it would be today's John Morrison. Big Stevie Cool, Stevie Richards. We got Nick Aldis, Nikita Koloff, Hollywood Nova, Blue Meanie, Matt Cardona, formerly Zack Ryder. Brian Myers, formerly Kurt Hawkins. Zack Sabre Jr., Warhorse. He actually appeared on an episode of Dynamite somewhat recently. Colt Cabana, Austin Idol, Jeff Cobb, and Tommy Dreamer. Who are we going to go with? I'll go with Dreamer. And let's see. Add CPU. Who are we going to go up against here? Tommy Dreamer versus Blue Meanie. We'll do an old ECW throwback. And let's select the stage here. So here's our RetroMania. This is the mecca of wrestling arenas where it all started 30 years ago. You'll notice it looks somewhat like WrestleMania. We've got a school gymnasium, the ballroom. That might be a good one for us since we're doing the ECW. We've got Japan, NWA Power, NWA 70th anniversary, at the beach, at the warehouse. That's kind of like a Lucha Underground right there. House of Hardcore, Stevie Richards Fitness, Universal Wrestling College, Pro Wrestling Tees, Too Many Games, Stomp in Paradise, in Hell, Wrestle in Hell if we want to, Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, at the British Arena, or a random. We're going to go to the ballroom. Let's give that a shot. Here comes Tommy Dreamer with his kendo stick. Here comes the Blue Meanie. All right.
The following singles match is scheduled for one fall and has no time limit. Introducing first, from Yonkers, New York, the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer. And his opponent, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the Blue Meanie.
Alright, so we can use the D-pad. Alright. Too early. Oh, nice. Okay, Alright, double tap towards the direction you want to go in to get out of the ring. How do I run? Okay, is that Y? Y is our run. Oh, I drop it. Ooh, I almost lost there. Okay, let's get out. Ah, let me hit you. Come on, you son of a bitch. There we go. Now get that. Oh, you... What a baby. Get out here. Oh, damn it. Gotta wait for him to get up. Man, it's tough to... Let's break that count. Jesus. So difficult to get a simple chair shot off here. Come on, we're in ECW arena. And you don't even want to... Get in there. Ah, damn it. I'm not giving up on this. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Blue Meanie's wrestling like a bitch here. Ah, damn it. Get up. Jesus. Come on now. Nice. Get up there. Oh, on the apron. Keeps going for that Boston Crab. Ooh, a nice big haymaker there. Oh, shit. Seems like he's got a finisher. Oh, that was good. Russian leg sweep. Only a 1 count. Look at his health, too. Hey, what's up, Adam? I was hoping you'd join this evening. Did you watch Revolution, brother? If so, what did you think? There we go. That's got to be it. Got the win. There we go. Hey, that's not too bad. All right. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Double tap direction towards ropes to enter or exit. Tap X while moving towards a corner to climb. That would have been helpful. Double tap up when on the top rope to climb the cage. Press Y in a direction during a headlock to whip your opponent into the ropes or corner. And then we've got tag, left bumper, right bumper, taunt, run, weak, strong, medium, or pin. So Adam, you did watch. You liked everything. Pretty good, except, even the last match. So you're not going to detract whatever that explosion was from the quality of the match or the after-match stuff itself. That was a little strange. I thought that the pay-per-view as a whole, like up until that timer counted down and then it had like the very anticlimactic explosion, that was like a perfect pay-per-view for me. I'm not saying that like it's #1 classic pay-per-view of all time. I'm just saying when you pay $49.99 for an event for one evening, it felt like, in my opinion, what wrestling pay-per-views used to feel like. I think AEW does a good job of that. Like a lot of WWE pay-per-views now, they just feel like it's Raw or SmackDown without commercials. This had a different feel. You know, it was big. Everything felt meaningful. All the matches were at least good. I didn't think there were any bad matches on the card. And yeah, that last match, it was brutal. I wish that the ending would have been something. I was expecting the ring to like collapse. I was expecting something dangerous to happen, you know, because Eddie Kingston runs in, he like covers Moxley up, and then you just get like some sparklers go off, and then a big poof, and then they acted like Eddie Kingston was like knocked out from that. And I guess you're selling, oh, we felt the heat up here at our announce table, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, I guess. But I mean, that's like nitpicking. Overall, well worth the money, and like, shit, close to 4 hours of pro wrestling for $50. Yeah. But I was expecting, like I said at the end, you know, a full ring collapse. Like, they would have had it rigged up somehow to make it look like, I don't know, set some shit on fire and have it planned out so that no one dies in the process. But, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah, Eddie tried to sell it, and I mean, maybe they explained it to him differently. You know, I'm sure when he goes back and watches it, he'll probably be like, what the fuck was that? Why was I laying there acting like I was knocked out? Because the same shit, I mean, it didn't look any different, except for like the sparklers that started flying out of the ring post. The explosion at the end didn't look any different than the explosions that had occurred when Moxley and Omega were like whipping each other into ropes all night. So that's what was like, that was what was strange about it. We saw those explosions already, like multiple times during the match, and then at the end there's this big timer counting down, and then boom, or poof rather. Again, maybe Eddie laying there like covering Moxley up, they had sold it backstage to him as if it was going to look different. So maybe there wasn't any way for him to play that off, you know. But it's like Moxley's just been through this match. He's actually had the ring explode on him. He's been thrown into exploding barbed wire for the past, whatever, close to a half hour. Eddie Kingston runs out and covers him up, and Moxley's the one who's like getting up before Kingston. That didn't make sense to me either, but we're in nitpicking territory. I get that, but I like my wrestling angles to make sense, guys. Okay, I just do. All right. Try something else here. What is 10 pounds of gold? Adam says he came up with his own nonsense explanation just for fun, that it was clearly letting out poison gas that knocked out. Hey, you know what? I like that. I like diving fully into the kayfabe and just trying to explain everything, because I like it to make sense when I'm watching it. I'm not one of those people who sits there and tries to like make it not fun. But I mean, my son was watching it with me, and you know, he's 8, and he was sitting there like as the clock was counting down, and then it reached 0, and then, you know, what happened, and he was like, he looked at me, he was like, "That's it?" It's like, I thought it was gonna be. It's like, I thought it was gonna be crazy. It's like, I thought the ring was gonna blow up. Like, he was scared for a second. He was scared for Moxley and Kingston, you know, and he was super pissed off. He hates Omega now. He used to think he was kind of cool. He can't stand him. He still thinks the Good Brothers are kind of cool because he's a big AJ Styles fan. And he thinks the Bullet Club is neat. But, you know, he can't get past Don Callis and Kenny Omega. Let's see, what is this? So we've got a story and then we've got 10 pounds of gold. Do you have what it takes to take on the champ? Battle the RetroMania Wrestling roster on your way to facing Nick Aldis for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. Okay. I like John Morrison for this. Morrison moves pretty well here. Ah. Damn it. Yeah, we're not getting a count there. It's definitely an arcade game. Let me tell you that. It's not. You're not going to get the move variety of like your, you know, your WCW Revenge or No Mercy or anything like that. But this is, it's a direct sequel to the old, what was it called? Was it WrestleFest? Damn it, can't seem to win a... Oh! Can't win a single lockup here. There we go. Get up. Oh, Adam, what did you think of the big reveal of Christian? I actually thought of that earlier today. That thought crossed my mind. No shit. What? I already lost? That was quick. Damn. But that thought crossed my mind. I was like, you know what? What if Christian is the big reveal, the signing that the Big Show was talking about? That would make sense because it's like he comes in, he does this spot with Edge in the Rumble. For whatever reason, Vince probably doesn't want to have him around. Thinks he's washed up. Not enough left in the tank. I don't know. I think he'll be pretty badass in AEW. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with him. Let me do another singles match for fun. Yeah, good to hear it. I'm glad to hear you're jazzed about that. I thought that was pretty cool. Because it seemed like a bit of a letdown when he was in the Rumble and then he wasn't there on Raw the next night. That's kind of what gave me the impression where it was like, oh, well, that was a one-off deal. They're not having him come back full-time or anything, when I feel like he could still go. Well, you'll get that with the nice working relationship that AEW and Impact have together. I just watched his TNA debut maybe about a week and a half ago. I signed up for the Impact Plus so I could go back and watch some old Impact shit. It's pretty cool. So much professional wrestling that you can watch now just at the drop of a hat. Let's go with Hawk. And let's... who are we going to take on? How about Hawk versus Animal? At... we'll do old school there. Yeah, that's why when we were talking about the other night, Christian's name didn't really come to mind. I don't know what made me think of it. Earlier today, I was like doing something around the house, and that just kind of came to my mind. I was like, that would be interesting if it ends up being Christian. And it was. Pleasant surprise.
And his opponent from Chicago, Illinois, Road Warrior Animal.
And I've kind of stopped visiting most of the forums and shit. I used to go on R Squared Circle a lot, R Square Circle on Reddit. But hold on, what the hell's going on? Oh, just knocked my ass down. Whoop. Don't want to do that. Oh, nice. But yeah, I used to spend a lot of time on there. Try and get the dirt and shit. And I pay attention somewhat, but wrestling's so much more fun when you have no idea what's going to happen. And I feel like having that taken away by the company, especially when it comes to WWE, they don't really allow many surprises anymore on their brand. So I try not to get into like rumors and whatnot. I don't want to know what's going to happen on Impact or what's going to happen on fucking on Dynamite. I just kind of like going in blind. Oh. Low momentum. Yeah, the element of surprise is so crucial, in my opinion, to the old pro wrestling. It just takes away a lot of the fun. You love being able to pop for something you didn't see coming, you know? Oh, come on now. There we go. Yeah, I know there were people talking about that. That was like a rumor. I didn't know like how much truth there was to it. I hadn't super looked into it, so I popped when Edge came out. Oh, damn it. Son of a bitch. No! That's gonna be it. I knew it was gonna... Whoever won that last lockup was gonna win it. Oh well. I'm gonna have to get good. I think the biggest pop I ever had in a Royal Rumble was probably when AJ came out. When AJ debuted, I lost my mind. That was awesome. That was one of my favorite moments in the entire history of me watching professional wrestling. When AJ debuted at the Rumble. Yeah, that was a good one. I don't know. Also, when Sting debuted in WWE for the first time, that was pretty incredible. I lost my shit at that too. I had no idea that was going to happen. So that was like out of nowhere. That was a really cool moment. And I still thought it was awesome when he debuted in AEW. Anytime Sting shows up, I don't care. He could be like 80. It's like he's got that aura, the same kind of deal that The Undertaker has. I think that's why so many people wanted to see them wrestle each other. It's kind of a bummer they never got to. But yeah, Sting has a nice layoff and then shows up. People are going to lose their minds. Y2J, Chris Jericho, when he appeared in back in the WWF for the first time, that was a good one. Did you ever see it later? If you weren't watching it live, did you ever see Sting's debut in WWE? What was it, Survivor Series? I don't remember what year that was. I don't remember. It all runs together. WWE's product has been so just for so long now. This era is probably my least favorite era since I've been watching WWE consistently. You know, going back to WWF days. I first got into wrestling like really hardcore back in like the new generation. So 1995 was like the year that I started watching consistently, like near the end of the year 1995. So the big feuds that were going on when I got into it were the big feuds that were probably leading into Royal Rumble 1996. And well, Adam, you should definitely go back and watch it because it's really cool. Sting comes out, he has this stare down with Triple H, and they totally put him over. You know, it's awesome. Completely different than what they ended up doing at WrestleMania. when he had that very forgettable match against Triple H. But that moment, that when he came out and then the stare down between him and Triple H, that was amazing. Yeah. But yeah, this era of WWE, it's just everything's so watered down for the most part, you know? You get very few matches that you feel like were actually worth watching. And that's such a shame with the roster they have now. Because they should be putting on shows that just raise the bar week after week, and they don't do that for whatever reason. Yeah, at least that moment at least is worth watching. If you can go back and find that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the remedy is. It seems like, and it's such a cliche where it's, well, whatever Vince gets out of the way, that sucks. Because he has to be so stubborn at this point to not realize wrestling fans just want you to, like, give them professional wrestling. How crazy. They want good wrestling matches consistently, you know, and they want decent storylines. They don't want stories to be dropped without any explanation, and then something new happening, or people to just disappear off television with no rhyme or reason. It just feels like nothing matters when you watch Raw and SmackDown. And again, that sucks for the roster they have right now because they're full of talent. You couldn't ask for a better roster. And there are a few bright spots, but I'm just saying weekly, if you're talking about 3 hours of Raw every Monday night, rarely do you feel like it was worth sitting there and watching it for a full 3 hours. And I usually don't, to be honest. I don't like park my ass in front of the TV and watch Raw for 3 hours every Monday night. I turn it on out of habit for the most part. And then, you know, check out the few interesting tidbits that I feel like paying attention to. But it's just, if you want to present a show, if you're asking for 3 hours of attention from viewers every week, then you should be giving them compelling product. Yeah, Adam, I think the Taker Sting match was a missed opportunity. I think that would have been a much better option than than Sting versus Triple H, and then they build it as like whatever, the end of an era, and you had DX versus the NWO and like the most lame way possible. It just didn't make any sense. Going back to that problem of things feeling like they don't have any gravity, like it didn't matter. It was like a sideshow. You didn't feel like these guys were invested. They weren't really there to prove anything. It was just kind of like a bunch of guys who used to be in WCW versus guys who were in WWF at that point, and the big factions, and they're going to have a scrum, but oh, well, they're all buddies anyway, and then that's that. But it just didn't feel like it mattered. That's the problem with so much of their programming. It just feels like filler. Then you go and you watch a pay-per-view like tonight from AEW, which is like 4 hours almost of wrestling, of solid wrestling. because they're not afraid to be what they are. They're not afraid to present professional wrestling to professional wrestling fans. They don't try to sugarcoat it. They don't try to make people believe they're watching something other than what they are, the way that Vince does with the whole, sports entertainment shit. That's fine if they want to take that angle, but it's I don't think that it's going to work forever. Clearly it's not. Ratings continue to fall. And over time, I think AEW is going to continue creeping on them. And you look at these sort of WWE diehard stands on Twitter and shit, and they'll continue to laugh at AEW for not doing the numbers that Raw and SmackDown does. And it's just like, you guys, are you serious? You're talking about Raw, which has been on television for, like, what is it, almost, what is it going to be, like almost 30 years coming up soon? And SmackDown for around 20. And these people who kind of like pick on AEW and talk shit because AEW is not doing Raw and SmackDown numbers yet on ratings. They're hanging in there. They're doing a decent enough job. And if I were in Vince's shoes, I'd be like, why aren't we blowing these guys out of the water by, like, millions and millions and millions of viewers every week? Why is it even close? Because it's getting close. And Adam, as we were talking about the other night, I mean, if John Cena or if CM Punk were swayed to go over to AEW, or maybe if Daniel Bryan went there along with a few other, like, upper mid-card guys, not necessarily on that Cena, Roman Reigns level, but people kind of just under that. If you had a few people who were like at that almost super main event tier who went over to AEW and then became super main eventers, then they could be competing like neck and neck very shortly. And I had like a crazy thought for just a second tonight. It's one of those things where, like, and it's what's fun about being a wrestling fan, I think, is that moment where you don't know. You say, what if this happened? When the Good Brothers and Omega were beating the shit out of Moxley, I had this thought where it was like, how badass would it be if, without telling anyone, just for this like one-off, if Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins came down and helped Moxley out, and they did a Shield versus Bullet Club match, because the Forbidden Door is open, as Tony Khan has said. And if they're able to work something out, I mean, it'd be amazing. That's the kind of shit that fans want to see. That's what we tune in for. It's like these fantasy scenarios where it's like, oh man, imagine if such and such happened. Every now and again, something like that does happen. It's not very often. And I'm not saying anything necessarily on that level has happened yet, but I feel like we're entering into a world where something like that could possibly come about. And if it does, then so much better for the wrestling fans. But Adam says he thinks the years of WWE burying the people that are going to be their future will someday just hurt them. And the burial has been going on so long that he thinks we're in the next generation of where the people that should have been built up from 5 to 10 years ago are at best in the mid card. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think that a guy like Ziggler, there was a point where he could have been on that next tier. They could have moved him up there. And they didn't pull the trigger. And then he went away for a while, and there was talk of him possibly leaving, and then he came back, and then he would disappear, and then he comes back. Yeah, I've been disappointed with the trajectory of his career, but just because I've been a big Ziggler fan ever since he first debuted. I've always liked him. I've always thought that he could have been like a true superstar. No pun intended with the WWE and such, but they just never got him there. Too bad. But he's a guy that I think could leave and still be revitalized and go to AEW and have a great run there and maybe show what he's still capable of. So I think he's probably capable of plenty. I think Nakamura is still capable of plenty. I'd love to see him get out of WWE. His main roster career has been just so disappointing to me. Adam says, as much as the forbidden door opens, I guess I'd be too afraid because I could believe the people in charge of Impact and NJPW are business-minded first, but negotiating with Vince sounds like a nightmare. I'm sure it probably is. I would imagine so. But, you know, he used to do shit like that back in the day. I guess when they were dealing with territories, that was more commonplace. So it's not like the idea is completely foreign to him. I think that he probably feels like he's above having to do anything like that now. But maybe if he thought it would somehow end up with more viewers for his product, then possibly he could be talked into it. I think if Triple H takes over someday, that you will see shit like that go down. Where you're seeing these cross-promotional things happening right now and fans are just eating it up. If Triple H were running the main roster, he'd probably be looking at all this and being like, well, how can we get in on that and profit from it ourselves? Like, there's no reason to let Impact, AEW, New Japan, NWA, everyone under the sun, there's no reason to let all these guys work together and then not get in on that. Doing all these cross-promotional things that fans are buzzing about. Like, we want to be in on that buzz. That's what I think a guy like Triple H would probably be thinking. But Vince, I believe, in his position, maybe feels like he's beyond having to do that. Like, let them play around, trade guys in between their promotions. That's for the pro wrestling companies. We're something else. We're sports entertainment. We barely acknowledge that these other places exist. They're so far beneath us, you know. Never mind how the fans look at these other promotions. They are becoming like the cool, hip alternatives, and fans are starting to look at everything else the way that they were looking at WCW and ECW in the, you know, mid to late 90s before the Attitude Era really kicked off. What's up, Diagunner? I'm just hanging out here shooting the shit on pro wrestling with Adam. We're just brothering out. Now we got a sister in here too. That's cool. We're all for brothering and sistering out, sistering down, brothering down. Good brothers, good sisters all around. That's what we're all about. Adam says, you got to remember it was him poaching talent from the territory days that let them become number one. There was a lot of screwing people over to get to this point. Well, yeah, it was pretty cutthroat. And I don't know the history, like, front to back. I would have to imagine there were probably other guys out there who are attempting to do what Vince did. Of course, he did it to a degree that no one else had, and that's why they became the force that they eventually became over time. I think that he broke some conventions. He went against the grain a bit. He stabbed some people in the back, but it's a carny business, man. You have to imagine that there were other people out there attempting to pull the same shit he was doing. He had kind of the launching pad, and he had the wherewithal, he had the money, the charisma, the business acumen. He's not an idiot. And that's what makes it so frustrating. It's like, if you would just put forth, I don't know, I don't want to say that he's not putting forth effort, because I hear the guy's like a workaholic. So I'm not just trying to throw Vince under the bus and say he's stupid or he doesn't care. I'm pretty sure he does. He spent his entire life doing this, and he's still going at a rate that would probably break the backs of, a lot of people in their 20s and 30s. But I think he's become set in his ways, and he doesn't want to acknowledge that the fan base is moving in a different direction. I think he had trouble coming to terms with that in the 90s, but then once he did come to terms with it, we got the Attitude Era. So maybe there's going to be a moment where the switch will flip and will be ushered into a brand new, glorious, golden age of wrestling. You don't know much about wrestling games or in real life wrestling, but let's have fun. Yeah, you should. You should have fun. I think everyone should have fun with pro wrestling. It's such a fun thing to get into. There's nothing else quite like it. There's nothing else quite like being a fan of professional wrestling. What do you think, Adam? Where would you tell Dia Gunner to start? If she's saying, I don't know much about wrestling, what would you start with? And actually, you know what? I got into wrestling because I started playing the Monday Night Raw game for Sega Genesis. Now, I was born in '85, so I remember being really young and seeing Saturday Morning Superstars and Main Event, whatever wrestling shows were on in the late 80s and early 90s. Anyone who was growing up at that point, if you were 4 or 5 years old in the late 80s, early 90s, everyone loved Hulk Hogan. Everyone loved Ultimate Warrior. I had an Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan action figure, and I would watch Hulk Hogan matches or Ultimate Warrior if I saw him on TV, and I was flipping through the channels. But that was just very casual. When I was around 10 years old, I think in 4th grade, my friend brought over the Raw game on Sega Genesis, and we played the shit out of that game. And I started picking Shawn Michaels. I just thought he was cool in the game. And so I started watching Monday Night Raw to see all these characters that I had been playing as in the Monday Night Raw Genesis game. And then I just started watching week after week after week, and then I just got into it, and I've been a fan ever since. So that was my kind of gateway, was just playing wrestling video games. Adam says AEW might be an okay jumping on point. Yeah, you should definitely check out AEW. That's why I went with the wrestling game tonight, because there was just a big AEW pay-per-view this evening. AEW Revolution. Just watched that. Nice 4-hour show. Great show. Thumbs up. Great production. Well worth it. Well worth the cash. AEW is on every Wednesday night on TNT at 8 o'clock. You can check out Impact Wrestling. You can watch all of their episodes on Twitch, actually. They do their episodes on Twitch. You can go and watch those for free, in fact. And I think they put the Dynamite episodes up on the TNT app as well, if you can download that. So, yeah. So let's see. Maybe, Adam says... he says, I mean, it's hard because I know my less interested in wrestling friends don't really care for the WWE nonsense stuff, which goes well for kids, but turns adults off. Yeah, but you know, what's crazy is like modern day WWE, they talk about this, well, ever since like the PG era started and targeting like a younger audience and all this kind of stuff. I feel like my son gravitates towards AEW more. You know, he's more pulled in to just the presentation and the show. Not saying he doesn't like any WWE wrestlers or get excited about it. He does. I mean, he loves Edge. He loves Drew McIntyre. But I think overall, he seems to be more focused in and zeroed in on the entire product that AEW is presenting than what they're churning out week after week on Raw and SmackDown. And I agree, Adam. New Japan, as far as like the in-ring stuff, I don't know if anything tops New Japan's in-ring product. There's so much good shit you can watch there. They're just... there's something different about Japanese wrestling. Just the strong style. What you get when you watch New Japan is different than what you get when you watch most Western wrestling programs. But it's got that kind of niche mystique to it. So that can actually be intriguing to people who aren't like super into WWE or even AEW. If you send them like just a random New Japan match, like I showed a friend a Nakamura, what was it? Nakamura Ibushi from, what was that, Wrestle Kingdom 10, I think. And like this is a non-wrestling friend, and he was blown away by it. And then I showed another friend of mine the first Kenny Omega Okada match, and that was another one where this person was like, shit man, I've never seen pro wrestling like this, you know. It just hits differently, and sometimes that can grab people and they'll be like, well, I didn't know pro wrestling was like this. Much harder hitting, feels a bit more real, you know, a bit more high stakes. Oh boy. Well, let's see. I'll probably do one more match here. What are we gonna do? The Retro Rumble. Up to 16 men enter one by one, but only one can remain and be the winner of the Retro Rumble. Do you have what it takes? Let's find out. Oh boy. What are we gonna go with? I won my match with Tommy Dreamer. So let's do that. Okay. Which arena do we want to go to? Oh yeah, that Ricochet Will Ospreay match was awesome. Ricochet, there's another one where it's like so stupid what they've done with him. All the cool shit he was doing all over the world. his stuff in Lucha Underground. Comes to NXT, he's badass. But it was unique. It was a unique match. You can call it a spot fest if you want to, but boy, where are we gonna go here? I'm thinking we're gonna do. Let's do the beach. Let's have the retro rumble at the beach.
Welcome to the Retro Rumble.
All right, I'm gonna try the approach where I do my best to conserve energy. That's what you have to do in these. Oh, and that's not the way to do it. You don't want to run if you don't have to. That's another thing. I'm gonna get out of the way here. Johnny's going after me, man. There's a nice pile driver. I like they call John Morrison Johnny Retro in this. I can't even see where I am. Where are we? Where? Oh, there I am. I'm fighting Zack Ryder. Or Matt Cardona, sorry. Old habits. Old names die hard. I don't think anyone's gone out yet. Ooh, that could have... He could have tossed my ass just then. Oh, can we pin? I didn't realize that. You can also pin to eliminate guys in the Retro Rumble. Ooh. That could have been bad. Count it. Oh. I don't know what number we're on here. Nope. One, two. Oh, I thought I was about to get an elimination there. Pin him. Oh, shit. I mean, he must be fresh. Oos. I'm honestly surprised I haven't been thrown out yet. I don't have much health left. If I get Irish whipped, I'm probably going over the top. Here comes Nick Aldis. Really got to stay away now. Oh no! Don't know how I kicked out there. Oh boy. That was close. Who's even counting? Gotta get up, get up, get up. No! No! Oh, damn it. Well, it was a good try. I don't guess I get to come back in, do I? Yeah, if anyone thinks wrestling takes itself too seriously, that's a good way to go. Show him some Ibushi. Show him Kenny Omega wrestling a 10-year-old girl. Show them Mae Young giving birth to a hand. Show them the New Day. No, wrestling's fun. Absolute classics.
The winner of the Retro Rumble is Jeff Cobb.
Alright, Jeff Cobb gets the win. Well, we tried our best. We did what we could. Alright. What's a fun little game? I think I'm going to pick up Fire Pro Wrestling as well sometime soon. That's another one that I've never played. I've always heard great things about it. But I'm a big fan of the old No Mercy WrestleMania 2000, WCW versus NWO Revenge. Cobb is a beast. I don't remember what happened with him. There was like the 1 week where he came out on Dynamite and then he disappeared and like never came back. I don't remember what happened there. I mean, that was some time ago. But then I heard that he was going to sign with NXT. Not sure what the deal is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to see if there might be some other like kind of hidden gem shit show wrestling games on Steam. I'll have to check that. I'll have to give that a peep. There's going to be an AEW game coming out. I've seen a couple of the like teasers that they've done for it, and that looks pretty cool. It's got like a bit of a cartoony feel to it. It looks more arcade-ish than, you know, the 2K WWE games. But I think it'll be pretty cool. It looks like they were going for more of the No Mercy revenge style than just like the straight-up sim that many of the WWE games have been lately. Though I did get Battlegrounds. That's like super over-the-top arcade-ish. And it's pretty fun, though. I like playing that one. I'm kind of working my way through the storyline right now. I picked that up on the Switch. So I'll play a little bit before bed. You know. Just a fun little arcadey game. Well, they're doing this Inner Circle, what do they call it? War, like the War Council or something on Wednesday. I have a theory. We'll see if I'm right. I have a feeling MJF is going to try to get Jericho kicked out of the Inner Circle and take it over for himself. That's what I think is going to happen. We'll see. I could be wrong, but that I think that's where that son of a bitch MJF is coming from. I think that's what he's trying to do. So we'll have to see. We'll check it out. Also, before I go, if you guys are interested in seeing one of the weirdest games that you'll ever see, check out the playthrough of, the hell is it called? Fish. Hold on. Escape Fish Stop 3D. I posted an almost full playthrough earlier today of that one. Escape Fish Stop 3D. I won't tell you anything else about it. Just the name. I played it for almost 3 hours, regrettably. And there were like 3 different levels that you could go through. And I got through the first 2, and I made it quite a ways into the 3rd, and I just had to stop. I couldn't go anymore. If you check it out, you'll see why. But if you watch it, please leave a comment and let me know. Let me know that I did a good job, okay? At least pat me on the back for making it as far as I did, because I feel like it was a test of my will to get even that far into the game. Probably worse than Zadet. If you checked out Zadet, the very slow-moving side-scroller I was talking about, that playthrough has like over 200 views now. YouTube is so weird. You never know what's going to do well, what people are going to be interested in. But anyhow, check out my playthrough, my almost super playthrough of Escape Fish Stop 3D, and leave a comment over there. And you had to pass on the bad one, the Zadet. Yeah, it was pretty painful. It's worth watching for like a few seconds, just to see it, just to see that this game exists. You know, watch 20 seconds of it, or watch just like 2 deaths, because there are plenty. There are plenty of deaths. You get touched by something and your body just explodes, and then your bones crumble down into like a pool of blood, and then the game takes you back to like the start screen, and you have to go back to the very beginning of the level every time you die. It's worth watching just for a few seconds, just to see what what this game was, what it is. But also the fish stop. If you want to see one of the strangest games you'll probably ever see in your life, give that a shot. And I think that's going to wrap things up for tonight. So, everyone, thanks for hanging out. Adam, thanks for talking wrestling with me. And Dia Gunner, thanks for being here and listening to the wrestling talk. Even though you're not much of a wrestling fan right now. Maybe you will be. Maybe you will be. Maybe we'll talk you into checking out some pro wrestling over time, you know? Because just about every professional wrestling fan out there can remember a time in their life when they were not a professional wrestling fan. Could be a good place to start. All right. Everyone, take real good care. Keep kicking ass. Love you lots. Lord willing, I'll be back very soon with another video for you to watch. All right. Bye-bye.